Welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty Cat, with my sister co-host, Miss Morningstar on WKRA 92.7 FM The Change. If you're looking for the best in news, current events, community outreach programs, and shopping connections, you've come to the right place. We've got a great mix of content and community connections lined up for you this evening, along with special guest interviews. So, grab your favorite drink of choice, turn up the volume, and let's get into it.
Good morning, WKRA 92.7 The Change. It's your morning host, DJ Kitty, here with my co-host, Miss Morningstar from Our Plugs, the Community Connection. Happy Friday. My goodness, we made it. Yay, yay, yay.
Friday.
Yes. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope
This
everyone
best day.
had a wonderful week. I hope everyone is looking forward to the weekend, and you guys have something exciting planned, even if it's just relaxing. I feel like relaxing is probably the best plan there is, doing absolutely nothing. I love that. I love being at home and not doing anything, not leaving my house for 24 to 48 hours. But that's just me. So I hope that everyone has something exciting planned for this weekend. Come on in, get your breakfast, drink you some coffee, get you some juice or some water, whatever it is that you need in order to sit down and get comfortable, because we have another great show planned for us this morning. So before we get started, just like every other morning, we start with the morning affirmation. So I'm going to say good morning to my sister, Mrs. Morningstar, and then ask for the affirmation queen to give us her morning affirmations. Good morning, sis.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I'm happy it's Friday, y'all. Y'all
Me
just
too.
don't know. It'd be one of them. It'd be like you just look for, even though the weekend is short, it's still, it's our time. We get
It
our
is.
time. And I love it. I love it. So today's affirmation is going to be focused on a Saturday affirmation, weekend affirmation. Just kind of giving you some tips on, one way to get yourself set and get yourself up for a great day. And with positive affirmations, keeping positive statements nearby, it's going to help you get your Saturday off to a right start, right?
Yep.
Maybe eventually making it the best day of the week, which I feel it's the weekend. It is. So
Yes.
Let's get into it. Saturday affirmations. So a few things, and remember, I always tell y'all, take a couple notes or take some mental notes to your head, maybe 2 or 3 that you can reflect on. Mm-hmm. Wake up and say, I am confident and capable and comfortable in my own skin. I am so grateful for all the adventures I experience daily. I have released my attachment to the desire of the ego. I am the best version of myself. I welcome opportunities to learn and grow. I am so grateful for my health and strong body. I love that my talent brings me success and joy. I am surrounded by positive and happy people who support me. I am co-creating with the universe. I like that one.
Yes.
Wealth, love, and happiness are abundant in my life. Claim it, y'all.
Claim it.
I am beautiful, confident, and loved. I see oneness everywhere I look.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Start your Saturdays off right, y'all.
Start the weekends off right. Positive affirmations, because we need that. We need to know that although things may be crazy, we got this. and nothing's going to change that. And don't let anything change it. Irregardless to what happens, make sure that you find your happy place. I also want to say welcome to our family on YouTube. We see you out there. I can't say thanks enough for you guys showing up every time we come on the
Every
air.
show.
Every show. And we really appreciate you. We see you and we love you guys. Melbo,
Shout out to
Powerful
Melba,
Black
powerful
Woman,
Black woman.
T
We
Wiz
see
will be
you.
here any
We
second.
be
This is
here.
Jack. They come every show. So I
Yes.
appreciate you. I appreciate
Love
you
is
all.
real.
So let's hop into the weather. Let's get into the weather. So Holly Springs, 85 today with a low of 66.
Okay.
Yes, warming up. Got about a 15% chance of rain. It's going to be cloudy, some scattered showers, but not a lot, Winds are coming out of the south-southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. The mosquito risk is high. Your air quality is moderate, and your grass pollen is very high. So use your repellent. And if you have breathing issues, please be leery of being in grassy areas. Memphis, come on in. You guys are neck and neck, 85 degrees. So it's a little warm up there in those neck of the woods. A low of 67, about a 24% chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Winds are out of the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. You also have a high mosquito risk. Air quality is moderate and your grass pollen is very high. If you have standing water, go ahead and pour that standing water out, because that is like breeding grounds for mosquitoes and gnats. I don't know which one I hate worse.
I can't
Mosquitoes or
stand.
gnats?
Well, both gnats get on my nerves.
Gnats?
Just
Oh
they
my
so
goodness. So,
they so aggy.
yes, and they come at you. They
They
run
do.
at
Why
you.
they come right in your face?
I don't know, because of the oxygen. I've read up on it, but gnats actually, they are coming after our oxygen. So that's why they come to your face.
Oh my goodness!
That's crazy, isn't
That's
it?
insane. Leave me alone.
Yes, and some of them bite, just so you know.
I know they do it here in Houston. I
Yeah,
learned that when I moved here.
yeah.
Like what?
And make sure if you do get bit, make sure you clean it really good and put some antibiotic
And it
ointment on
itches.
it. Yes, yes, yes. Gnats are just as bad as mosquitoes here in Houston.
Oh
Now,
my goodness.
Houston, let's talk about this weather, because I know this is day 4. Y'all are childish. Mother Nature, I mean, I'm trying to stay on your good side, but you ain't making it easy. We got a
Right.
high of 94 today, a low of 78. 15% chance of, rain, but it's very limited. Cloudy, partly sunny, and when the sun does come out, it's going to be hot. We've got winds 15 to 25 miles per hour. That's nothing. We need some gust. I'm just saying. Mosquito risk, of course, is high. Air quality is good. Surprise, surprise. So your grass, tree, and ragweed, all of them are medium, because, of course, it's Houston. So medium risk of pollen, or not even risk, medium pollen count. So all I can say is get rid of standing water, use a repellent, and limit your exposure outdoors, because, the elements will make you run back in. And if you wake up with sinus headaches and sinus issues like I do, you will understand that I'm going to run in and out. I'm going to go outside really quick and come back inside really as quickly as possible. And that's your weather and your repellent report for this
And mosquitoes
Friday.
got attitude problems. I'm gonna just
They
tell
do.
y'all now. Mosquitoes is rude, okay? Because I went outside yesterday. Quick story, for all a bit of 3 minutes just to talk to my husband, and I'm like, "Oh, it's so nice out here." And next thing I know, my ankle was itching.
Yeah, yeah.
Just rude.
They are very rude, and there's a lot of remedies for mosquitoes, but I don't think that they are. I think that they're remedy proof, because they're soldiers down here and they breed them. And hey, these mosquitoes are on us.
They about it, y'all.
They are. They are about it. And if you're not about it, I suggest you wear, even if you wear long pants.
They bite through it. I don't know how
they bite
do
through
it.
or
They got the
come
little
up.
sharp teeth.
Yeah, they're coming. They're coming for you. And the scariest part about mosquitoes is they bite you and then they bite the next person. So they are transferring your body fluids to the next person. That freaks me out when you really think about it.
That's
But
what I say. Mm-mm.
yeah, repellent. So sis, I think it's your turn to go ahead and start with the news you can use. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's get into it. Yesterday, the Supreme Court listened to Trump's executive order claim about ending birthright citizenship. And this is kind of how it went. It was like the Supreme Court was really unanimously looking at this as like, are we seriously, this is in the Constitution. It's in the Constitution. And, during that hearing, I watched a little bit, heard a little bit of it, Trump's attorney with the scratchy throat, that one. He was basically trying to justify how it's okay to defy a court order in certain situations. And it was funny.
What?
He was talking to Judge Amy Barrett. Is it Barrett? Amy Barrett?
Amy Coney Barrett.
Coney Barrett, yeah. A Trump appointee. And she said, what? Her comment was, what? Really? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it should be.
It's an insult to them.
Yes, it is.
It's an insult. And I don't think it's going anywhere. Like a lot of people thought, it's going to get shut down. They'll make their final decision, but I just don't see it. It's
going in his favor.
Yeah, it's unconstitutional.
It really is.
You're going against the actual Constitution.
But everything he does goes against the actual Constitution or morals or laws or common sense. Everything.
This man is literally overseas doing personal investments, okay? Basically.
He's basically in our faces saying, I'm going to do what I want to do. And who's going to check me, boo?
Yeah.
Basically, that's what he's saying.
If checks and balances are really being challenged right now, and I need somebody to stand the heck up.
Somebody stand up. If they would allow me to, I would love to. I would love to stand up, but
stand up to the bullet.
They'll been and jacked me up and put me out real quick because I cuss
They
a
ain't
lot.
gonna let me in that press room.
No, I would love to go to the press room and ask a couple questions, but ma'am, you right there, they would snatch me up so quick. By the caller, ma'am, we're gonna need you.
Please get her out of here.
Please follow us.
She's going. Yes. I know what type of time it is. Another thing that happened, so RFK Jr., oh Lord. So he had a congressional hearing a couple days ago, and he had to sit in front of the Senate. And they really had tough questions for him. I mean, he was drilled, They were pushing, saying you can't fire 90% of the people you and assume the work is getting done. Like, make it make sense,
Common sense.
And just hammering him, everybody. I mean, they were tearing him up. Good. And he couldn't answer no questions. He was all over the place. And there was one particular senator, and I wasn't familiar with her, but now I am. I want to play y'all a little clip of her basically just annihilating him. And it's sad that he is over the HHS, and this is who was chosen, unbeknown to advice from his cousins, like you should not pick him, but they did. And this is what we're dealing with. So listen to this. If y'all can hear it, let me know.
Chairman, Mr. Secretary, I'm over here. I've been sitting through this hearing all day today. and have noted that you've been unable, in most instances, to answer any specific questions relating to your agency.
Because I haven't been given time.
Well, no, you have been given time, but the point of the matter is you've been unable to answer specific questions. Sir, you are the wrong person for this job. And you have had in this hearing today the unmitigated gall to say at the beginning of your testimony that China is ahead of the United States in healthcare because China does not have DEI.
I didn't say that.
Well, we can roll back the tape. You absolutely
And
did
you
say
will find I didn't say that.
that is absolutely what you said.
I was talking about science. I didn't say they're ahead of us in some forms of science, certainly not in healthcare.
Well, we can roll back the tape, but nonetheless, let me go on with my questions and ask you this. You just heard about the Safe to Sleep campaign, and you have made cuts. You made it very clear here today. You have no knowledge whatsoever of the absolutely amazing scientists and researchers who you have callously fired. You know nothing about the cuts.
You can fire any working scientist, Senator.
That, sir, is not true either. But nonetheless,
But it is true.
It is not true. Let me ask you another specific question. The Safe to Sleep campaign. Well, then can you name, sir, which office the Safe to Sleep campaign operates out of?
Which campaign?
Well, that's the one that the senator just asked you about 2 minutes ago that prevents babies from dying in their sleep. A 30-year program inside your agency. You would agree that it's important.
I think it's part of HRSA or ACF. It's ACF.
No, actually, it's in Health and Human Services.
Yeah.
And I think,
Yeah.
and again,
No, they're all within Health and Human Services, but the subdivision is ACF.
no, actually, the name of the
Nutrition
office
of Children and Families.
No, let me tell you what it is. The National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. This is actually the one that your aunt, Eunice Kennedy Shriver, is the person who it's named after. And you've noted just a moment ago, the senator reminded you that although this is a very important agency, prevents babies from dying, this is the same one you fired every single person in this office as of April the 1st. It is also,
as I said, there were no working scientists fired during the RIF.
We can bring you that information later, but because what you just said is not true. Well, then the question also is, in addition to firing the individuals who make.
Okay, guys. I can't hear you, Kitty. So
The man is insane, sis.
he didn't know about a program within his agency that was named after his aunt, Eunice Kennedy. It was a program named after her for her input in the program. And he ain't know. He fired everybody, y'all. Everybody.
He is an idiot.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
How can he know? Doesn't he have a worm in his brain?
He does. And it shows because this is nonsense.
The mere fact that he doesn't know that this was his own family member, it's very telling, but no one is surprised. No one. We are all sitting here living and looking like, I cannot believe, number one, that we elected Frumpy, and then he filled a cabinet full of idiots.
Decepticons, baby. I needed the radio world to hear that, because I get it. You guys are busy. Everybody is busy. You may not catch certain things, but this is important stuff and things we miss, and we need to hear. This is the person in charge of our health. And this is who we got. And
he fired why?
You have to. He didn't know what it was. He didn't know how important that was.
Yeah. None of them do.
Research on babies, he don't understand the significance of the research that's being conducted, or they just don't care.
They don't. I don't believe that it's a matter of them researching and saying, they're not looking at the list and saying, oh, well, this is needed, this is needed. They're looking at the numbers and seeing where they can carve out, because they have to be able to pull the funding away from all of those agencies so that they can use that money for. So here's my thought process. Where's all the money going? Where is the money, LaShandra? where is the money, LaShandra? Because they ain't playing on the radio because we're on the radio, but I'm playing it on
Y'all
Saturday.
gonna have to come on TikTok to hear
Y'all
that.
gonna have to
Where's
come
the
on
money,
TikTok.
LaShandra?
Where is the money, LaShandra? Because they're gutting everything.
Yeah.
And they're taking, they took the funding away from the farmers. They're taking the funding away from everyone. But
Medicaid.
where is
Medicaid.
the money? Where's the money? We got somebody listening from Italy. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in, Italy.
In.
That's amazing. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. But where is the money? Because you are taking everything from the United States citizens. Where's the money?
Where's the
Elonia
money, y'all?
and LaShandra, come to the front of the room.
Please.
And please tell us where our money's at, because this is crazy. This is crazy. But none of this, none of it surprises any of us.
Yeah.
We're at a point in our lives where we are looking and we're saying,
flabbergasted, y'all. Just no, I don't really have words for it. I mean, y'all heard it. What can you say after that?
Where's the money, LaShandra? That's all I can say.
And clearly, if you could see this senator's face, she was looking at her notes and she looked up at him like, "You did,
Really?
You did."
Yes.
I mean, deny. That's all they do.
They do, and deflect, deny, deflect, and steal.
Powerful Black Woman, you got to hear it on TikTok. It's a clip.
I'll send it to you, sis. I'll send it to you. Where's the money, LaShandra? Y'all keep that in
laugh. It's a clip.
Put that in your Rolodex. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. You are listening to Our Plugs, the community connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Hey, guys. And I'd like for you to do one more thing for me. Hold up 2 fingers. This is you, and this is me, and the space that exists between us should be filled with value.
Equal, a global human initiative, and its value identity model.
Welcome to Morningstar Boutique, where the sun is shining and the style is all about you, your beauty, confidence, and individuality. Whether that's your perfect summer dress, a chic jumpsuit, or outfit you didn't know you needed, we've got you. Stop by ourplugs.com and check us out. We'll see you soon.
And we are back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the community connection. And today we are here. It is Friday, and we just heard some very telling information about one of the head of our Health and Human Services. And I'm just going to say this. You guys, take your vitamins, do your own research, do what you need to do to protect yourself and your family, because we know for a fact that if you listen to RFK, you probably will, I can't say it because I don't want to get censored, but I'm just going to say, do yourself a favor and protect your own self. RFK Jr., you cannot listen to somebody who has no common sense, no book sense, none of it makes sense. So do your own research.
Yeah. Kitty, I got one more thing I want to share.
Go ahead.
One more thing, and this one is a little sad, guys. I'm sorry, but it needs to be told. So a family in Atlanta, Georgia, is suffering right now. Their pregnant daughter was declared brain dead 90 days ago, and is still on life support currently because of the laws in Georgia about baby heartbeat. Yes.
So are they going to take the baby?
So listen, she was 9 weeks 3 months ago. Because of her heartbeat being detected, they put this young lady, this mother, she's already a mother, she has a son, and she was pregnant with her second child. They put her on life support to keep her alive, even though she's brain dead. The mother, the family of Adriana Andriana, a 30-year-old African-American woman in Atlanta, Georgia, was declared brain dead 90 days ago. Georgia law requires her to be kept on life support until the baby can survive outside the womb. In February, she's a nurse. She became ill and went to the hospital suffering from intense headaches.
Mm.
She sought treatment at the hospital but was sent home without a CT scan. That's where I want to stop real quick and let people know, do not leave without them giving you the proper treatment. You demand
Absolutely.
that. It is your right. You demand a CT scan. If you are pregnant, you are having intense headaches, the worst headaches you ever had in your life, you demand them to do a CT scan. Don't leave. The next day, her boyfriend found her struggling to breathe, called 911, and she was taken to the hospital she worked at, where the CT scan revealed multiple blood clots in her brain. Doctors attempted to relieve the pressure, but were unsuccessful. That's why she was declared brain dead. They are putting her family through the worst type of trauma at this moment. Her family had no say-so in her care. Once, because her heartbeat was detected because of these laws, because of this idiot we have in office. They are having to go by her bedside with her son, who thinks his mom is just sleeping.
This is horrible.
Every day while she's being kept alive on the machine. This is just me bringing this to awareness to us, listening audience, and in the chat. This is the type of trauma that will drive people crazy. Hence what happened in Ohio with the man who unalived a police officer in a bit of rage. These are the things that will drive sane, normal people insane. Me having to go to the hospital and see my child breathing but not there. Because you won't let her rest in peace. And not only is it harm to the family, the unborn baby possibly may be born with birth defects.
Why
put
that family through this? Why
are you putting this family through this? The baby may be blind. The baby may have some type, because the baby is not getting the proper nourishment, So these are the possibilities for this child when it's born. And her mom said, and I'm going to be the one raising this child along with his father. And we don't know if he's going to make it through delivery or not. It's torture.
It is torture. And
it's uncruel punishment.
She's in her first trimester? This is just this is ridiculous. And this is what happens when you allow these people to take away our rights. It's her body. And you are making this family suffer, and anyone who loves her, and people who don't even know her, because this is heartbreaking. It's hurtful. It's a very terrible situation. And all we can do at this point is pray for that family. Do they have a GoFundMe? Do you know?
I didn't see that.
Let's find out.
I'll have to do some research. Because it's getting expensive for them. Having to pay for her medical care. It's cruelty. It's just plain out cruelty to me. At the end of the day, she didn't get the proper treatment that she needed, the proper care in the beginning. When she noticed there was something going on, she went and she didn't get the proper care. She was sent home. And
anybody who's ever been pregnant, we put our bodies on the line to bring in life.
Yeah.
My mom told me that when you are with child, that's the closest that you get to death without actually passing, because you're exchanging life and you're passing life and you're birthing and your life is on the line. And she she needs to rest, and her family needs to get past this. This is heartbreaking. My heart goes out to this family. I'm going to look into it because I definitely need to. I feel I
Right.
need to give something to help them with whatever. This is
Yeah, I'm gonna
heartbreaking.
look it up. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I
sure.
have to.
I don't know if they have a GoFundMe, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they have something going to some type of fundraiser for her and her child and her current child is outliving.
Yes,
Yeah, it's awful.
it is
And my
awful.
prayers and thoughts and everything I have in me goes out to her family because this
Yeah,
is
this
this
is
is
heartbreaking.
complete suffering and cruelty.
And for what? So that he could prove a point. So that I don't even want to get into it.
No, let's
It just
move
angers
on.
me so much.
I debated on bringing this up, but
We need
I
to.
literally prayed about it, and then I said, "No, you're going to bring it up because we need to know that we don't just when they tell us, oh, go home, you're fine.' No, we need if
No.
we know something is wrong, we need to stay there and advocate for ourselves. No,
Yes.
I want a CT scan. I demand a CT scan
Yeah. Because you know your body
because who knows what could have been done at that point
to save her.
to save her life."
Yeah. Prayers to the family.
Yep.
Seriously. I did want to mention, I'm going to try and keep up with the Diddy trial. I'm going to mention it really very short. It's Cassie was back on the stage. She was back on, not stage, back on trial, testifying
Understand. Mm-hmm.
on the stand. Thank you. And Diddy's, defense attorneys, they call themselves trying to, in my opinion, shame the victim because they want her to read out her text messages. Now, innocent until proven guilty. So, let him go through the court system or whatever, but I can still have my opinion. And any woman who's ever been in a domestic violence situation, this entire scenario of what these people have been doing over years is triggering and disturbing. And Diddy, if allegedly, if this is true, if you did this, if this is true and you said, you don't deny it, the domestic violence is horrible, as well as the humiliation that you put that young lady through. You are sick and you need help. But, it's up to the courts to decide. I'm just really disturbed by that. I also wanted to mention in Tennessee, they had ICE raids in Tennessee, and they're not going after criminals. They're not going after criminals. They're going after regular people who look a certain way. So it's not that it's criminals that they're deporting. It's not that they're criminals. They did Tennessee raids on regular folks, not criminals, raids in Nashville at bars. They were racially profiling people without search warrants. At this point, they are a bunch of bullies, and we need to see the background on these people because it's been said, and in Massachusetts as well, Melville just put in the chat, it's been said that some of these people who are working with ICE are the J6ers. And that this is right up their alley. It's ridiculous at this point. Allegedly, but I'm just going to say, when all of this comes out, and all of this is going to go to trial one day, it may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but everybody has their day. And when this all comes out, these people who have put these people through this, you will have your day. If not here, you'll have it when you meet your maker. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Sis, let's go ahead and bring up Mr. Clarence because
All right.
we are bringing up our second half of our Panelists for Bridges Over Borders, the talk show. Hello, Clarence. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? I've been enjoying listening to what's going on. You guys are fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Good morning,
guys. It's absolutely it's fantastic. This is what we all need. We need new voices in media. you know.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you saying that, especially coming from you. So
What?
for our listeners out there who don't know, Clarence is one of the owners of Heart and Soul magazine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he has an extensive background. So I'm going to hush, and I would like for you to tell the folks who you are.
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Clarence Brown. I'm the CEO of Heart and Soul magazine, heartandsoul.com. I've been in the media business since 1976, and I'll tell you, some of you folks, that I'm pretty old and been in this game quite a while. And I've seen a ton of changes, and a ton of changes the way people consume media. I've had this pet peeve for a long time that social media is not news, and that we need a lot more voices than these big corporations. Granted, I used to work for Time Magazine. I worked there for a dozen years. I used to work for Black Entertainment Television. I worked there for 13 years. I've been owning this publication and website with my partners now for close to 8-9 years. And I've just always been in the media, but it's just so important that people understand that you need to find trusted sources. You got to find people that you truly have vetted and on the ground, and they know what they're talking about. You're not going to get that always from the big corporate media, and you're not going to get that from some folks that are funded in certain ways. Let's be real about it. There's a lot of propaganda going on right now. Oh, Trump is doing this and Trump is doing that. Everybody can't look at it and recognize it for what it is, but it's marketing, it's propaganda, and it's propping up the current administration that's in office, trying to say they're doing such a great job. When, just for listening to the last few minutes, we all know they're not doing a great job. You got unqualified people in positions of power, touting their own kind of thing. Heart and Soul is a health, fitness, and wellness magazine, a website. We kind of focus on that. We've expanded our categories. During COVID, we had to expand our categories. But like last year, before this administration came in, we did a lot of great work with Health and Human Services on viruses, RSV, flu. I couldn't take any of that information from them now. I don't trust them. It's plain and simple. I can't trust them anymore. I mean, I love some of the folks that work on the ground, but when you get a new administration in the office like this, that says, okay, this is our policy, this is the way we see things, and it has no basis in science or fact or anything. It's just some, guy at the top saying this is what it is, or some think tank, Project 2025 saying this is what we think it should be. No. And it's just very important that voices like yours and other voices that are coming up, because we have this great technology now, we can all get out there and say, okay, this is what's happening in my community. This is what's happening on the ground. It's just so important that we really recognize who's in our corner and who has our best interests at heart and who is telling us the truth. This comes down to it. Who's telling us the fact and who's telling us the truth?
That is so true.
It just is disturbing. Yeah, clearly I'm an older guy. I'm 70 years old. I've seen all kind of health issues and other kind of stuff like that. And I've seen our communities go through all kind of changes. But it almost feels like we went back 20, 30 years right now.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like, how did we get here? Where's the gap that let all of this stuff happen? I can't blame one person, but I can blame a lot of folks to say, okay, y'all had to see this coming. Should have been some stopgap measures put in place, but maybe we don't have the right resources. We don't have enough money to stop some of these things, but we surely got enough people on the ground and voices that we could raise hell.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
That's my 2 cents so far.
We love it. We love it. And you're
that was perfect.
Exactly. You're saying exactly what we've been saying, because myself and Miss Morningstar, we don't have a background in media broadcasting at all. We were blessed with this, but this is it. Our voices need to be heard, because we know there are so many people who were lied to.
Yes.
And some people chose, they knew that they were being lied to. They just chose, they wanted to be on the side of whiteness. I'm just going to say it.
Hey, yeah.
It's
What
true.
it is.
It is what it is.
And they fans.
Yeah.
Fans.
Right.
They're not living in the reality of what life is or what we have, what we have right in front of us. They are fans. It's a fan club.
Yes, yes.
They're mesmerized by an entertainer, because this is not a presidency. This is an entertainer. He does good marketing of himself, and he's believable to them. While we know he's full of lies, he's the biggest liar and con, and we can see clear as day. But these people are mesmerized by the limelight of who they think or perceive him to be. And then, like you said, it's the white supremacy is attractive to them, feeling superior.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's some people call it a cult. Let's call it what it is, because that's
what I call it.
That's what I call it.
Somebody lying to you, but you're going along anyway.
Yeah.
Why would you
want to drink that Kool-Aid? It's just it's just amazing to me. There's a lot of intelligent people out there. They believe some of the simplest things to find out that are falsehoods. They believe it. And you want to say to yourself, do you believe it because you believe it, or you say, I'm going to get a leg up over somebody else?
That's what I think it is.
Is it like, that's okay, as long as I get mine, as long as I'm okay, the hell with everybody else, excuse my French, and
it's not going to affect me.
It's not going to affect me directly. Right.
And that's what they think. As long as it doesn't affect me, I'm going to go with it. Not realizing, and now, surprise, surprise, it's affecting you.
Oh, yeah.
Because he never cared about anybody. If you're not of the 1%, you're on the same level playing field with the rest of them.
Right.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah, if you're not sitting on a gold toilet, I don't want to talk to you.
Yes.
It seems like, if you're not $500 million or few billion dollars, that you're not important. There's a lot of farmers that are finding that out right now. Not just black farmers, white farmers.
White farmers. Well, you have to think about it when it comes to the farmers. Black farmers weren't given all those grants. They weren't getting those. It was the white farmers. Well, he cut all that out. Right. And now most of those South Africans that are coming into America are heading to Nebraska, my home state.
And they're gonna take that land.
And they're taking that land from those farmers who can't afford it any longer because you don't have anybody working the fields because you deported everyone. And these people, they're taking the land, but they're not even farmers.
They just white. Let's call it what it is. They just white.
That's it.
Come on, white folks.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I'm not shocked either, but it's just like, it's so blatant right now.
It is very blatant.
Right now, it's just blatant. It's in your face. It's
in
like,
your face.
I'm doing it. What you gonna do about it?
What you gonna do? Who gonna check me?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't the Republican Party ain't checking them.
They're too busy fighting amongst themselves.
Yeah.
They still can't come up with a deal on Medicaid. And that's what he's doing. He's keeping them busy over there while he's over in Qatar making all kinds of deals.
Well, he's always, no matter what's going on, he throws a lot of stuff out. But something's going on in the background. You're not going to find out about until later. And it's always something that's going to line pockets.
That's why I said, I thought about it. The whole plane thing, it's a distraction.
Yes.
For something bigger of what he's doing over there in Saudi Arabia and Qatar and all of that. He's over there working deals. He's doing personal stuff.
Right, personal.
That's for him and his family, personal deals, which we know is unconstitutional and against the law. But he's all about quid pro quos. He's all about all of that because he's a criminal, and they elected a criminal. What do you think happens when you elect a criminal back into office?
To crime.
And give him the power.
Yeah, he doesn't care. We know he's a criminal. They know he's a criminal.
Yes.
Yes.
This is the thing that's so weird. You know he's a criminal. You know he's going to do shady stuff. Why did you put him in office? What did you think you were going to gain? An
You,
extra stimulus check? Come on.
I honestly believe they put him in office when it came. I put him in different categories. White people put him in office because they are scared that Black people are going to take over. Period.
Yeah.
Dot.
Yeah.
Hispanic people or Latinos, people of minorities, Black and brown people put him in office for their their being close to the proximity
to whiteness and power.
Right. Whiteness and power.
Right.
Not realizing that he doesn't care about neither one of you. And now, where is the money, LaShandra? Because he done stole all our money.
I like when I was listening. I said, "Where's the money?" You're absolutely right. Where's all these cuts?
Where's the money?
All the saving? Where's it going? What's he doing with it?
Where's the money?
Is he trying to figure out how to get some of that money to his friends? I mean, we know it's going to tax cuts, for the super rich, trying to make that stuff in perpetuity. But, what's he doing? I just,
My thing is, he laid off, fired all these people. So that payroll, where's the money? Where is the money? I would need to know where. I'm in finance. I need to know where the money is at. This is bothering me at this point. Where's the money? Because I need to see a financial statement, a balance sheet.
They lying in some pockets, and it definitely ain't the American people.
No, it's not American people.
I
It's
want
not
to do
the
a
American
forensic
people.
audit at this point.
Where
Somebody
we are.
call me.
And he's also, they fire all these people, and they're trying to sell those federal buildings. You know that, right?
Yeah.
All the buildings that the people were in, they're like, well, we don't need those buildings anymore. We can sell those.
I'm gonna have to go lay down.
This leads to why they wanted to make so many changes within the federal government for contractors.
Right.
Because I'm a little deep into the contracting field. I used to be a core within contracting, so I know how it works. And he wants to give those contracts to his buddies, the rich ones, so they can take those properties and also make it the private sector. The VA, he wants to prioritize. Yes, he wants to try to make the VA the private sector, which is insane.
Yes.
So I'm telling you, Kitty, I think it's time for a break.
It is time for a break.
We'll talk all day.
I'm sorry.
Break. Because I didn't know that he's selling the buildings now. This man, he will sell anything. We are, y'all. Let's take a break.
For sale. What?
We are. I'm not for sale. Ain't nobody buying me, doggone it. I'm not for sale. So we are going to take a quick commercial break. Okay. You are listening to Our Plugs, the community connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We'll be right back.
Welcome to a world that sparkles. Sparkle Kicks LLC is your one-stop shop for a wide variety of customized items. So bling out your Crocs. Customize that cutting board. Get you custom dominoes. Stop by and we will customize your order today. We can be found on Etsy and Our Plugs LLC. I'll be waiting to customize your order. All you need to do is place it.
Let's be real. Being a woman means juggling everything. Careers, families, goals, and somehow our health ends up last on the list. But what if your wellness came first? At Nutrition You Design, we believe healthy living shouldn't be complicated. From custom meal plans to one-on-one coaching and specialized lab testing, we're here to help you fuel your body and feel amazing every day. It's not about dieting, it's about thriving. It's about energy, balance, confidence, you. So if you're ready to feel stronger, healthier, and in control of your nutrition, let's do this together. Contact Nutrition You Design today and design a healthier you.
And we are back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the community connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We've got our friend Clarence Brown here from Heart and Soul magazine. He is gracing our airways this morning. We're so thankful to have you. We were just finishing up our talk about Frumpy Dump, the man in office, and we're going to go ahead and switch it up, and we're going to start talking about Bridges Over Borders talk show.
All righty.
So I guess I'm going to be asking the questions because the two panelists are Mrs. Morningstar and Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
So, hi, Miss Morningstar. How are you? And hi,
Well,
Mr.
I'm just
Brown.
fine, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll start with Clarence.
Okay.
So, Clarence, let me ask you, what's your thoughts on the Bridges Over Borders talk show? What's your thought on what would you like to see come of it?
Well, I'm excited about a new show, new people talking about topics, a new way for folks to get the content. I'm an old guy. I used to do paper. Now we're doing everything digital. But I'm very excited to see the dialogue between the different folks, Black and brown folks, bringing up topics that you just wouldn't get anywhere else. I just think there's a lot of topics and a lot of content that doesn't get aired. And when you can have a new show produced by us, for us, I think it's a great opportunity to say, get our word out. I'm helping to promote it. We will promote it on this platform. I have several websites I'd love to promote it on, just to get people out and talking about the topics, because it's so important for people to be educated on what's going on. Because if you just look at mainstream media, if you just look at Fox News, you just look, I'm on YouTube, CNN, Reuters, I'm on all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, propaganda, marketing, and then every now and then I say, oh, that's a real story, and that's what I'm hoping happens with this program, that there's real content, real people talking about real topics that people need to understand and learn about, so they can go out and make informed decisions the next time around there's a vote.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm as excited about a new platform that's not got somebody's hand up their back making their mouth move. You know what I'm saying? I hate to put it like that, but there's a lot of
truth
out there.
That's the truth.
They, depending on what that sponsor wants, that's what you get. Depending on who wrote that algorithm, that's the news you get.
Yeah.
It gets very, very filtered. People don't realize how filtered it gets. I'm just excited. I'm excited for a new voice out there telling people what's going on. That's where I sit.
I agree with that. And Mrs. Morningstar, same question. What would you like to see come of it? Of this?
I'm gonna just piggyback off of Clarence. I think that this is going to be authentic. It's going to be boots on the ground, because a lot of, like you said, a lot of the news and media is filtered of what they can and cannot say. But now you have real people who have regular lives. We work 9 to 5s. We are out in the thick of it. We're paying these high prices.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the issues. We're seeing it in real time. We're dealing with people daily at our workplaces, at our churches, at our children's school events, where it's a variety of people that are congregating and silently having small discussions about what's going on in our country, or why do you feel this way about us versus us feel this way about you? What don't you know about us? These are conversations I think that are absolutely needed and must be had, because when it comes to the Black and brown community, we are so connected that a lot of us don't even understand. A lot of us don't know the history of why or how connected we are and what may have happened in that split. So I think this is going to be amazing. I think, coming up with the idea, Marina and Pablo, coming up with the idea of putting this together to at least get the conversation started, and then we can expand on it, because who knows, how many guests will come on the show with information as we go through it.
Absolutely. I love these answers. How do you think that the Black community will receive this project? Because I'm just going to leave it at that. How do you think that the Black community will receive this project? I'll start with you, Miss Morningstar.
It's going to be some resistance. I don't foresee it being a lot of resistance, but there's going to be some resistance because a lot of people that supported Kamala went out and voted the correct way, which was a lot of us, majority of us, 92%.
92.
And then we had what, 88% or 84% of the men.
80 something.
I'm gonna say 88. I'm gonna just
Yep.
say I'm gonna claim it, because nobody can make me believe my black men didn't come out and voted because they did.
There you go.
I don't care. You can't convince me otherwise. But majority of us, most of us, did the right thing. So yes, we're gonna have that little group that is like we spoke about earlier, that is trying to assimilate with their capture, which we call Stockholm syndrome. Just people who don't know their history enough. But I think anything is workable. So I'm hopeful, and I think the more we talk, the more we get more people involved, the more people join in the conversation, the more we're going to pull. We may turn around some of those people, but we have to stay consistent and persistent.
I love that. What about you?
Yeah, I'm hoping again. There's going to be some pushback. There's always going to be some pushback. There's just no way around that. But at least the dialogue is open. You start talking about it. You start learning about one another. I grew up in New York City, even though I was born in Virginia, but I grew up in New York City. I got tons of friends of every shade you can imagine. Every walk of life. I live in the DC area now. It's a little bit more separated, split up, but still, I think that we need this dialogue between ourselves. We need to lock arms in certain issues that we need to understand and have good information on, so we can, like you said, vote the right way. Vote in our own best interest, not vote against our own best interest. There's always going to be some people that are like crabs in the barrel. There's always going to be some people that want to be able to cozy up next to power and think, okay, if I vote this way, in my mind I'm white, but you ain't. When you walk down the street, you black all day, every day, and they know
all day, every day.
But there's always going to be some folks that won't come along. The goal and the hope for this is that we can change more minds and get more people to recognize, we need to stick together, because they're not looking out for you right now. You got to get with a group that's looking out for you. A lot of groups that came to this country, they pool their money, they pool their resources, they do everything together. For some reason, over the years we've been here, we've been had our minds psyched. I ain't got no other way to say it. We've been psyched out to think, well, if this one's getting ahead of me, I can't let somebody else black get ahead of me. I got to pull them back with me. That's like crabs in the barrel stuff. We got to get out of that stuff. And I don't think that social media has helped at all, because we also want to be so individual and say, okay, what's that one doing with that? And looking at each other, I'm like, no, we need the group, not individualize. When you get in a little silo, you can't right. It's like a horse with blinders on. You can't tell what's going on. So I'm hoping this show and the things we talk about really affect some kind of change.
I agree with that. I'm going to add, to that what you were saying, Clarence. I think a lot of people have huge egos, and they can't get past their own egos. They can't get out their own way. Right. So although they may want to see the community thrive, they're so busy beating their chest and saying, I, they can't allow anyone to get ahead of them.
Right.
So instead of them saying, let's do this collectively, they want to cause that division. And those are the ones that we need to recognize and realize that not everyone's going to go on this journey, but we still got a long road ahead.
Right.
So my next question is, okay, so we are starting this, and I'm quite sure there are other organizations, there may be other people that are doing something similar. And I hope that one day we cross paths so that we can all connect.
Right.
But what's your thought process on our Gen X and what is Gen Y, and I don't even know all the gens that are coming up. You know, all the gens that are coming up behind us.
Right.
What's your stance on, getting them to the table? Because they're, this is us now, but they're on deck.
Yeah.
Right behind us.
Right. Oh, for sure. Well, I think it's important that, we have to reach back and we have to connect and we have to meet people where they are. They may only be on TikTok. They may only be on YouTube. We got to say, okay, we got to figure out where they are, reach them and say, okay, this is I'm going to call myself an elder. Here's some of the elders. Let us tell you what we've seen. You may not want to hear everything they have to say, but we can say, this is what we've seen, and this is where we see the same thing happening again. So be aware, be alert, be more informed and involved in getting correct information. That's my take on it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, we do have responsibility to say, I got a bunch of nieces and nephews and everybody's 30 something, and I got to talk to them. You can't be in a hole saying you just in your own little world. You got to say, okay, what's happening? What's this? What's that? Why do you feel that way? Have a discussion. There's nothing wrong with having a discussion. I know that certain generations don't have good people skills. I'm going to say that out loud. They're used to being on a device, and literally the device is the way they communicate as opposed to sitting and talking or even having a phone call. But we still got to try. We still got to reach out and try. We say, okay, what's going on? But we got to meet them where they are. If they're on TikTok, they're not on LinkedIn or Facebook anymore. They're probably on Instagram or somewhere. There are all these other. You got to reach out. We got to be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We can't be afraid of the technology. Clearly, I'm a nerdy guy. I'm sitting here with 3 computers. But we gotta reach out as much as we can. However we can. Maybe it's making sure we go to more events, live events. Mm-hmm. There's live events out there, and every community. I'm a good partner with the Congressional Black Caucus. I'm at their event every year with booths and stuff like that. Just to reach out, we need to reach out to people, and we need to talk to professional Black organizations. Let me tell you. You need to talk to the Black nurses, the Black doctors, the Black dentists, the Black newspaper professionals. You got to talk to folks that are experts in their fields to help you make some informed decisions.
Absolutely. What you were, number one, before, I know Ms. Morningstar is about to chime in, but I did want to say, you said Congressional Black Caucus, and we want that invite. I'm just going to put it out.
I can tell you right now, you could come. I always have a 10x20 booth. I'd be happy to have you guys in the booth with me.
We're going.
I'd be happy to have you in the booth with me.
WKRA, we're on our way.
WKRA.
Hey,
hear that.
You hear that? We're going.
Amazing.
Absolutely, Clarence. What were you going to say, Ms. Morningstar?
So I was just going to piggyback off the generations. Like, okay, my group is Generation X. So the next after us is the millennials. And then it's the Generation Z and then Alpha. So right now we're in between the years of Alpha, and 2025 is known as the betas. So the betas are being born this year. Wow. So really, we got to latch on to that Generation Z right now, because they're graduating, they're becoming young entrepreneurs, they're getting through college, they're getting and they are smart.
They are brilliant.
They are brilliant. I can't tell you how many stories I've read, and I go to my daughter's school when they have because my daughter's, she's one of them. She's a Z, and she's in an early college program. She'll be graduating next year, 2026. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you how proud I am to see all these Black, because she goes to a African-American school, young people with 4.0s or higher, getting scholarships, getting full rides. I mean, setting the goal so high, and they are so pleasant to talk to because they know what they're talking about, and they're woke and aware of what's transitioning. And even our ally kids are aware that they don't want to be like how their parents were. They don't. They see in their grandparents. They see even their parents, because it's a where if you don't break the cycle continues. So a lot of them have came together with the younger with our kids, and they don't see why is this division happening, and when they see it they think it's really stupid, and I've heard them say it like, this is just stupid.
I'm glad that they take that stance.
And I'm glad they are, but we have to keep pushing the narrative and giving them the history, because from either side, everybody needs to know about their ancestry and their history.
Absolutely.
Because history repeats itself. So if you don't know where you came from or who was your ancestry, how are you going to do better than them?
Absolutely.
So I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate for that. I'm an advocate for people knowing, and my daughter probably gets so tired of me. I know she do. Me and her dad, because we do. We let's sit down. Let's cut TV off. What do you know about this? And she's smart. She knows a lot. She teaches us some stuff. So, but we're advocates for knowing your history, making sure we start the foundation, and because we Gen X, I mean, our work is not up, but we passing the baton. We like, come on, y'all, pick it up.
Pick it up.
We trying to catch up with this technology and stay abrupt, but they're going to be the leaders leading the way, and we got to push them to greatness.
I love that. And that's exactly why I'm excited about this project, because I know that along with Our Plugs, when we started Our Plugs, our mission was basically to connect with as many people as we possibly could, whether it was businesses, organizations, just to put us all together so that we could build. And then meeting Morena and meeting Clarence and getting this group together, it's just our next step. And I'm so excited to see where we go. And yes, bringing our, what did you say, the millennials? Because, I get confused.
Well, the millennials they got Gen Z kids, So it's Gen Z that I mean, even though we all working in cohesive, it's Gen Z that are up and coming. They the ones graduating now, and they
my grandson
starting their careers and getting into politics, and ready to vote. We gotta preach the importance of, you still gotta get out here and vote. That's all right. And they ain't taking that from us. They may take a lot of things, but we ain't giving that up.
No, we're not. And it just goes to show that we've come a long way. Although, yes, these last 110 days or whatever feels like we have gone back 30 40 years. However, we are going to fight to make sure that he's going to continue doing what he's doing, and while he's doing that, he doesn't think that we are going to come together and build something better and make sure that we pull as many people with us along the way. They don't see us coming, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Yep. Continue, doing what y'all doing, because JFK is over there denying life.
RFK.
I'm sorry, RFK. I did the same thing.
That was his uncle.
Yes.
I did.
And that was the good one. RFK is over there denying life, and he's dealing with the brain worm. We got Fat Nixon over there trying to stuff.
Yeah, I remember he was swimming in toxic water over the weekend.
I saw that.
He was in it was a lake. He took his family to a lake, a toxic lake. It had signs up said, "This is harmful. This has toxins."
And he jumped right in.
And it was what do you call it? Waste and stuff in that lake. It wasn't safe. He hopped right in with his grandbabies.
With his grandbaby? See. Anywho. Y'all let them go ahead and continue to swim in toxic waste while we continue to build and bridge these gaps. Because there's a lot of conversations that need to be had, and I'm just happy to be a part of it so that we can have those conversations.
Yes, I totally agree.
So I have one last question, and this one I pose it every once in a while, but where do you see us in a year from now? In a year from now, where would you like to see us? I'll start with you, Claire.
Well, in a year from now, I'd like to see us more unified around some key issues and really building an organization that can fight. Lock arms together with groups and organizations that we can fight, because let's face it, we don't have all the money and the resources, but we damn sure got the bodies.
That's right.
And we got the brains, right?
Mm-hmm.
Put those two things together, we can fight and we can meet them where we need to meet them and keep them from just trying to roughshod and become a dictatorship, because that's where we're headed.
Yeah.
We got to really say, you know what? This guy don't care about the Constitution. He don't care about laws. He don't care about business rules. He don't care about anything. He don't care about women. Okay?
No.
Get together. We're fighting. We're locked arms, and we're going to keep fighting until we get you out of office and can get some of them, Republicans out of office that are just letting you do what the heck you want to do.
Absolutely.
That's my hope, and I'm going to do my part to make sure we get there.
And that's the most important part, doing your part.
Right.
If everybody did their part, we'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Every single one of us adheres. If you listen to this, everyone register to vote. Go make sure you're registered. Go keep checking your voter registration. Pay attention. When it's time for you to vote, vote the Republicans out. And if the Democrats aren't doing what you need them to do, vote them out as well.
Yeah.
It's all about the people. And if you're not for the people, you're against the people. And my good sis, where would you like to see us in a year from now?
So I want to see expansion. I want to see us expanding out. I want to, see that we're making moves and, like Clarence said, locking arms and working on this thing on the ground, and also working with our bringing our kids in, because 2026 is voting. It's time to vote. And so it's time to go ahead and get everybody registered. Who can register now? We're gonna have a nice group that can register now. At least graduates of 20, 24, 25, 26, they'll be able to register. Most of them will be 18. They can register to vote. So I want to focus on, making sure we get them registered, educating them so they know what we're up against. They're seeing it, they're watching it now.
They're watching it.
And they just like, a lot of them, I talk to them in disbelief, like, this is crazy, because it's unbelievable to them, because they haven't grown up this way.
Right.
So a lot of them were born during the Barack Obama days. So,
oh, wow.
That's the only president. And then they dealt with Trump, it was COVID. So, we were on lockdown a lot of those years. So a lot of them didn't get to, now they're experiencing this Decepticon and his crew in the
wig in his combs,
just waiting to terrorize people. So that's what I look forward to in a year. I look forward to taking my daughter with me to vote for her first time. And her best friend, and they're ready. They can't wait. They'll be turning 18 and they'll be ready to go. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to continuing to educate people and having this conversation with Bridges Over Border talk show, trying to see how much we've expanded that, how far it goes, which I know it's going to go far. It's going to continue to go, because the conversation is needed. There's a lot of people out there who want the information, who want to connect. So I think it'll be great.
Awesome. I agree with both of you 1000%. I'm looking forward to seeing all of us grow. It's not about one person. It's about the community. And I think when people wrap their minds around and realize that the community is much more important than our singular issues, it works out so much better. I personally am excited. I am looking forward to seeing the growth, and I'm looking forward to seeing our children. My kids are grown, but I have a grandson that graduates next month in a couple of weeks. I'm so excited. And then he's off to LSU, and I'm so proud. And I'm looking forward to seeing his generation step
Mhm.
up, because
Mhm.
it is their turn, you know, but we have to be that guiding force. I'm Nana, so I have to be that guiding force and, you know, talk to him, and we have those hard conversations, especially he's a young Black man, when it comes to police brutality, when it comes to dating, when it comes to, you know, respecting women, all of that. I have a like, just like you, Miss Morningstar, your baby is a straight A student. I have a straight A
Mhm.
student grandson. Then I've got a 6-year-old who's well on his way to being a grown man in about 2 weeks. That's a grown man right there.
That's my
But
boy.
that's my boy too. But if he could vote, baby, my baby
He
would be
would,
voting.
because
He
he can
would.
talk.
He
He
would.
know how to talk.
Yes.
Hold a whole conversation with you.
Yes, he does. And that's what pushes me to continue, because I listen to my grandsons, and I know that all of our children and our grandchildren, they deserve a better life. They deserve a better America. This isn't fair to them. You know, to hear them say, why now? Why is all of this happening now when it's my turn to go off to college? And now all of the grants are being, and all of the, you know, funding is being tampered with. Where's the money, LaShandra? All of the, you know, you're messing with their future.
That's
And
it.
it's not fair to our babies. So I'm in it to win it. I fight about mines, and I fights about my community. So, you know, he picked a good fight. He did. He can continue over there with his $400 million plane, and the man with the worm in his brain, talking and jumping into toxic waste, all of that. He can continue on. We have work to do.
Yeah.
Bottom line, we have work to do. And frumping and eyeliner and Elonia, all of y'all, your
Y'all got to
time,
go.
your time, you know.
Y'all
I'm
got to
waiting on some
go.
impeachment
And
hearings. I want to be reporting on these impeachment hearings instead of Diddy, because Diddy's just get on
he
my
got
nerves.
to go too.
He got to go too.
too.
He
Right.
got
Yeah,
to
he
go.
has to go too. But I will say this. I want to say thank you, Clarence. Thank you for coming up.
Yes, thank you.
I owe you a debt of gratitude, because when we met weeks ago or a couple months ago, you just took us in under your wing. You know, you put our show on your website, and you've been a driving force. And so we thank you for that.
You're quite welcome.
Absolutely. And I see you as, okay, when I have these questions about media, let me call Clarence and get some things, because, you know, you're the pro.
Yeah,
You've
I've
been
been
doing this
around a minute.
That's a blessing. That is a blessing. That's what we need. I want our kids to say the same thing. Let me call my Nana, because, you know, she gonna know, because I don't know.
Right.
You know, it's passing it down generation to generation. So
yeah, I call it a brain dump. I'm like, I can't take this with me. What I know, I'm like, let me just dump it out. Y'all can have y'all can use it, or y'all can throw it away. But at least I tried.
we're gonna use it because you have a world of knowledge, and you've been down this road.
Oh yeah.
Of course, we're gonna lean on you, you know, and we appreciate you.
Yeah. I'm happy to help.
Absolutely. And we will see you tomorrow in DC.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
See you in DC. Yep, we'll be there.
All righty.
Bright and early.
I am tomorrow. I'm a little nervous, but I'm gonna get on the plane anyway, because we got work to do. I'm gonna put all the nervousness aside, and we're gonna be just fine.
Okay, great.
We will see you. We will see you in the tomorrow morning.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thank you so much, Clarence.
You're quite welcome.
You guys, what a wonderful show. You don't leave, just sit there. What a wonderful show. Any last words, Miss Morningstar, before we
No, just as my usual. Everybody have an amazing weekend. Make sure you take some of those affirmations I gave you earlier for your Saturday. Enjoy your Saturday, regardless of what it is you do. Just enjoy it. Chat, I see you guys. You are amazing today. Thank you for coming in, as supporting us as always. And you guys have a good weekend as well.
Absolutely. And I will say to WKRA 92.7 The Change, Thank you so much for this opportunity. We will be back this upcoming Monday with a lot of news that you can use. Have a great weekend, everyone. Hey y'all, it's DJ Kitty
and Miss Morningstar.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection, and we will be your new morning host on WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Yes, we will be broadcasting Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
We'll also be streaming on YouTube at Our Plugs LLC.
Be sure to tune in.
Hey y'all, it's DJ